slowly started to slide down this hill until it stopped right here. Now, can any of you guys guess why the cabin stopped where it did? Yeah, because of that big tree, right? Seems pretty obvious. That's what I would say if I didn't know any better. Okay, however, I do know better because I'm the tour guide. As I've told you guys earlier, Mr. Prather bought this land from a lumber company. Lumber companies cut down trees. Alright, this entire hillside up here was completely clear cut when Mr. Prather bought the land. That's why the lumber company is getting rid of it. That tree up there, it's only about 50 years old. This cabin's been here for over 70 years. Now, the reason we believe the cabin stopped right here is because this is the exact center of the mystery spot. That's where all these forces come together. Now, I have a demonstration back here showing the forces of the mystery spot. Before I share it with you, though, I am going to need a little bit of cooperation. When I show you what I have back here, I'm going to need each and every one of you guys to act very excited and give a big ooh, followed by oh. You guys think you can do that? Yeah. Right, you sound really excited, so let's see how this goes. Now, may I present to you, for your viewing pleasure as well as mine, what shocked thousands of eyes before yours, if not millions. It's the one, the only Board of Mystery. That was pretty bad, guys. Right now, I know you're probably just a little bit disappointed right now. I know I'd be disappointed if I were in your shoes. There's nothing special about this board. It's just a normal, boring piece of wood. However, I'm going to go ahead and set it up inside of this cabin here. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Now, I promise things are going to get exciting in just a second, but first I need to ask some questions. Can I see by a show of hands who thinks this end of the board is the uphill end? A few people, alright. Does anyone think this end of the board is the lower end? Alright, a few more. Does anyone think this board is perfectly flat and level? Must be. Alright, a few more people. Well, I got about 14 votes out of you guys. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a fourth option since some of you guys didn't vote. Is anyone here not even thinking at all? Alright, we got a couple honest kids in the crowd. That's good, guys. Now, luckily, we don't need to think that much because I have another level. As you guys can see, that bubble moves around freely as well. This is another normal working level like the one at the bottom of the hill, but smaller. But I'm going to go ahead and put it up here on this board for you guys. Now, can you see that bubble there? No. Is it in the center? Yes, it is. And what does that mean, guys? Level. That is level. Now, what would happen if I were to place a perfectly round object on a level surface? It should just stay still, right? So I'll go ahead and set it down there, and you'll see that's exactly what it does. Now, don't get too excited, guys. That's what's supposed to happen. You can see this in your kitchen if you wanted to. However, I did promise you something exciting, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a little push inside of the cabin now. Oh. Now my board's exciting, right? I'll go ahead and roll it in there again for you guys. It's as if some mysterious force inside the cabin is stopping that ball and pushing it right back out. Right? We believe that's the same force that made it harder to walk up that hill down there. Now, a lot of people are skeptical and they assume I've rigged this demonstration. Right? Maybe I cut the groove in the board in the shape of a V, narrower on the inside of the cabin, wider over here on the outside end. Therefore, as the ball enters, it would reach a high point and get pushed back out. However, if this were the case, and I switched the board around like that, the ball would now roll off to the inside of the cabin, right? So I'll go ahead and push it in there. You'll see that that's not the case. Alright, it still rolls right back out. So now that I've proved it's not the board that's been rigged, a lot of people switch that blame over to this ball. Right? Maybe it's a magnet that I cleverly painted to look like a pool ball. Right? Maybe I put a tiny little motor in here. You guys would have no idea. However, if any of you have an object that's cylindrical or round that I could try rolling on this board, maybe a tube of chapstick or lipstick, a battery, glass eye, small child. No? Alright, perfect. Did you get to hear the mystery spot? No, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. Now I'm going to go ahead and set her out on up there, give it a little push inside, and you'll see it rolls right back out. And I'll go ahead and do that again for you guys. You'll see it still rolls right back out. Thank you very much, sir. I am going to warn you, though, please don't use that for a few days, okay? Now, judging by all the confused looks in your guys' faces, I can tell the Board of Mystery's done a pretty good job today, so let's give it a round of applause. Perfect. Now, we're about to enter this cabin right here. Right, before we do, though, I'm going to go ahead and warn you one final time. If at any point you become overwhelmed with dizziness or nausea, just take a deep breath, step outside of the cabin, and you'll feel a whole lot better. However, if any of you guys think that you might actually throw up, please do tell me. Right? Because then I can set up the Board of Mystery and we can watch it shoot outside the cabin. Come on in, guys. Okay, you can leave that up here for now. Coming in.
Wow.
I'm a trip walking.
Whoa.
Stand right here. It's really wicked. It's like a free trip. Walk over here.
If you guys can scoot up the railing a little bit to make room for other people if they need it. If you don't need the railing, I'm going to ask you guys to move down here as well. If you do, though, keep on moving.
Look how far she's leaning.
Your leg.
Take a picture of them.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, excuse me, I'm going to stand up here in a second. Perfect. So,
There you go.
now that you guys are inside the cabin, you're all experiencing that 17-degree lean I told you about. As you guys can see, standing up here on the table is a pretty fun place to take some pictures. You guys can practice some of your favorite poses. You guys could be Superman. You can be Rose from Titanic. If you guys are feeling daring enough today, you can even try Captain Morgan. Now, I am going to warn you all, though. If you decide to get up on this table, please don't jump off of it. Alright, because you're probably not going to land where you think you will. Okay, you're probably going to end up underneath the table, then everyone else is going to be laughing at you and it's not going to be fun. So we built in some steps here on the side for you guys to get up and down safely from. I recommend you use them. Now we do have a couple more demonstrations over in the second room of the cabin. Afterwards, you'll have about 5 minutes of free time to do whatever you want in either room. So if you guys would like to see my next couple of demonstrations, head over into that second room, and I'll start right away.
Got a little trouble, you guys? Yeah, all right.
等一下，等一下。
Whoa.
So I'm going to go ahead and get started for you guys, alright? So for those of you that don't know, this right here is a pendulum. And what a pendulum does is it hangs straight down, swings in equal distance in all directions, and up here in the northern hemisphere, all pendulums rotate clockwise. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stand here as a reference point for you guys. I'm going to hold my arms out to the sides like this, and I'm going to give it a little push this way. I'll wait to give it a little push that way. Alright. Now, as you guys can see, it swings a bit farther to the outside corner than it does over here to the inside. Alright, you guys are also going to notice it slowly begins to rotate counterclockwise. Okay, last time I checked, we were not in Australia. Right, that should be rotating the complete opposite direction. Now it's also a lot easier to push out here to the outside corner of the cabin than it is to push over in here to the center. Alright, and this is a 32-pound lead weight on the end of this pendulum. It's lead, so it's not affected by magnetism. And since it is so heavy, I'm going to ask you guys not to hit anyone with it, unless they really deserved it. Now, this last demonstration doesn't even need an explanation. I think you'll recognize it, but it's called the Matrix.
Whoa. Whoa.
However, unlike Neil, you can actually stay on your feet. And now, you're going to have about 5 minutes. Try anything you want in either room. I am going to give you a 2-minute warning and a 1-minute warning. When I ask you to exit the cabin, I want you to enter this second courtyard out here where my next demonstrations will be quickly and quietly because there is a group right behind us. Thanks, guys. Have a good time.
Want a picture?
No.